Choosing a career is, well, it's a huge decision, right? And if you're feeling pulled towards education, there's this one field that's incredibly important and, let's be honest, challenging. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what it takes to get an online special education certification and really help you answer that big question. Is this the right move for you? Okay, let's jump right in.
Before we get into all the logistics and the details, I want to start with the heart of it. This quote, it just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just about lesson plans and grading papers. It's about being there for that aha moment, that breakthrough that can completely change a student's world. That's the real stuff. So as we walk through all the practical things, just keep this question in the back of your mind. We're not just looking at a job description here. We're trying to figure out if this is a true calling. Let's see if it's yours.
First things first, let's talk about the big why. What really pulls people into this field? Because let's be real, the motivation here has to be about so much more than a paycheck.
At its absolute core, special education is all about seeing the amazing potential that maybe others have missed. It means you're constantly adapting, you're innovating, you're believing that every single student can learn. Your mission, really, is to find the key that works for them. You're there to build bridges over obstacles.
Okay, so if that why is starting to click with you, let's move on to the what. What in the world is a special education certification really? And what can you actually do once you have it?
To put it simply, this certification is your professional license. It's the official credential issued by your state that proves you have the specialized skills and the knowledge to legally and effectively teach students who have a whole range of learning needs. This is what opens the door.
And this is where it gets really cool. Getting certified isn't like getting a key to just one room. It's more like a master key. You could become an inclusion specialist, helping to blend special and general education classes. Or you could work as an early interventionist, making a huge impact before a child even starts kindergarten. You might even decide to work outside the classroom as an advocate, fighting for students and their families. The point is, you have options, lots of them.
All right, so you're feeling the pull of a calling. You can see all the career doors that could open, so how do you actually get from here to there? Especially if you need the kind of flexibility that an online program can offer.
The path to getting certified is actually pretty clear and breaks down into 4 main steps. First, you've got to apply and get into a program. Then, you dive into all the core coursework online, soaking up all the theories and strategies. Next, and this is a big one, you get out from behind the screen and into a real classroom for your fieldwork. And finally, you tackle those last exams to get your license. It's a whole process, designed to get you totally ready.
Okay, and I have to pause here because this is absolutely critical. While your classes are online, the training is not. Let me be super clear about this. Every single accredited online program requires you to do in-person fieldwork. You will be in a real school with real students working under a mentor. This isn't an optional extra. It's where you put everything you've learned into practice.
But does that mean an online program is automatically the right choice for everybody? Nope, not necessarily. To figure that out, you have to look at the pros and cons honestly. So let's put the online route and a traditional on-campus program side by side.
Okay, just look at this breakdown. The biggest plus for online is the flexibility, right? You can fit your studies around your life, your job, your family. And yeah, it's often cheaper. But here's the trade-off, and it's a big one. You have to be incredibly self-disciplined. On the other hand, a traditional program gives you that structure, that face-to-face time with classmates and professors. But it also means you're on their schedule, which could mean a long commute or even moving. There's no better choice here, only the choice that's better for you. And that brings us to the final, and I think the most important part of all this. We've talked about the why, the what, and the how. Now, let's just focus completely on you. Seriously, think about this. In special education, you can't just follow a script. Every day is a new puzzle. If one way of teaching isn't working, you have to be creative enough to come up with another way on the spot. Does that kind of challenge excite you?
This one is non-negotiable. Progress isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You need a deep well of patience to stick with it and true empathy to try and see the world through your students' eyes, especially on the tough days. This is an emotional marathon for sure.
And let's tie this right back to learning online. You have to be brutally honest with yourself here. When you're in an online program, you're the boss. There's no professor looking over your shoulder. You have to have that inner drive to stay organized and on track, even when life gets chaotic.
So, after all that, this is where we land.
If you've been nodding along, if you're a patient, creative problem solver with that self-motivation, and you feel that deep pull to unlock potential in others, well, then the question isn't really if you're right for this job. The real question is, are you ready to change a life? Starting with your own.